You know who I had on my show this week?
Who's that?
Dominique.
What do you guys even talk about?
All kinds of stuff, like relationships, basically like what we will or will not allow in our relationship. And she really had some very interesting stories about people from her past and lies and, you know, her standards and what she holds true to.
So she gets pretty personal.
Definitely.
All right, let's roll audio. Can't wait to hear it.
You're now listening to Kendra After Dark.
I have my guest, Dominique.
Hi guys.
I've known Dominique for how long now?
Let's see. My son is 8 and Emery is 8.
About to be 8 too.
Like
Since they were 2, so like 7 years.
7 years, yeah,
Jeez.
yeah.
So it's been a long time. We met each other working at a job.
Yeah.
And I knew she smoked weed and was like, hey,
Yeah.
we should be friends.
The devil's lettuce.
And that was basically how we started hanging out and being friends and kicking it. Because then you lived right down the... No, you didn't. You moved close to me.
No, I moved closer to you. Yeah, I was over by Elcon first.
Yes,
and
and
then,
I
like,
only went to that place once. I don't even remember where it was.
Yeah, because like right after that we moved right around the corner from you.
Yeah, and then we were buddies and we hung out all of the time.
Yeah.
But it's been pretty fun since then.
Yeah, dang, because I was 20 when we met. I wasn't even like legal to
I
go
know.
out.
Well, we were talking about that the other day. I was like, didn't I get you into a bar without you being 21?
Exactly.
I won't say which bar. It's not open anymore.
Probably why. No, I'm just kidding.
But you know how that goes. But so, why don't you tell me like 3 random things about you?
So random, I guess. Is it okay if it's things that you know?
Well, yeah, because nobody here knows.
I'm just making sure.
This is introducing Dominique.
You know, I'm a mom. I have a 8-year-old son. Let's see. Do smoke a lot of weed, and
A lot of.
a lot of weed. And one more interesting fact. I'm a mutt. I'm mixed with a lot of different things.
I was like, you're a mutt.
It's pretty
What the hell does
interesting.
that mean? That's the cool way to describe yourself.
Yeah, basically.
Heinz 57. A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
What superpower would you want to have?
Honestly, I'd probably like something like Storm to control the weather. I'd be totally okay with that.
Yeah.
Like Mother Nature, you know how much power is in that?
You would basically dress up as Storm and be her anyway.
Pretty much, yeah.
Easily.
That's exactly why I would be okay with her powers.
That's so funny. I was like, what is a good way to introduce people? And I thought of like how I try to get along or become friends or like introduce myself. And the best was probably at the job we met each other.
Yeah.
Because they were like, okay, we're going to ask you weird questions.
Yeah,
I was like, I mean, if we're going to come on here and we're going to be totally real and talk about shit, let's know the goofy shit.
Exactly.
Like what kind of ice cream flavor you want to be.
That's a really good question. Honestly, I wouldn't know which. I love pralines and cream. That's like my favorite ice cream. But which one I would want to be? I don't think there would be an ice cream that. I don't know. It would probably be like a spicy sweet ice cream.
I'm making my own ice cream.
You know, I'm pretty sure they have that somewhere. But I mean, I would never try it personally. But I feel like that would encompass my personality pretty well.
Yeah, I could see that. Ooh, or like and I would want like, they already have them, a Pay Lucas bar. It's like chili and sweet.
Yeah, something like that. But I have no idea what that is. But that sounds...
You're like, I don't know if it'll be good, but maybe
But exactly.
That's probably not how you say it either. It's probably like very ethnic, but I'm extremely white. So it's Pay Lucas. It has been all my life. But this stuff smells really good. I got this Optimal Prime. And
it does.
It's an indica mix.
Oh, yeah. It was
Which
very nice.
I picked up at Saints, which is Southern Arizona Integrated Therapies, which is a dispensary here in Tucson. And if you're in Tucson, it's on Broadway and Kolb. It's over by the Little Anthony's Diner. And they have Purple Punch and Gorilla Glue also. This is a cross between them. So I got my favorite Swisher, which is the Cocoa Blue. And I just made Dom roll me a blunt.
Yeah.
So we're going to smoke it, and we're going to see how it is, and at the end of the show, we'll go over it again.
That sounds
see what
good.
you think. Let me know how it goes.
Sounds good.
I'm drinking beer, too, so there's
Fun
that.
times.
But anyway, it should be fine, because I'm not cross-contaminating my product here. Whatever it is. But the main reason we kind of discussed this before, but I wanted to get you on the show because I want to talk about, like, I don't know, I guess standards and relationships with life, people, not even just, like, who you're in love with, but, like, family and,
For sure.
you know, different shit like that. And just because I kind of think that everybody has a different, I don't know, everybody has, like, a moral standard that they follow. But then I also think that people have hardcore no's that become yeses.
True. Very
And
true.
so I kind of want to discuss, like, why. Because I've definitely had that. I, like, 100% was, like, no cheating. Mm-hmm. And anybody who ever cheated on me, I was like, okay, that's it, I'm done. Mm-hmm. And I would go and fuck and be on to the next or whatever the situation was. But then I also had a situation where someone definitely did cheat on me. And I was, like, so in love with him that I was like, okay, so what can we do to make this work? You know what I mean? So I think everybody comes to, like, a cross point where they allow certain things. But then also that whole experience made me kind of like, you talk to me wrong, like, I'm going to give you a warning and then don't ever fucking do it again. You know what I mean? And then parts of me are like, should I be that? I don't know what the right word is, but, like, I guess strict.
Yeah.
When it comes to things like that. So are there certain standards you think that you should abide to no matter what?
I think for me, cheating is a big thing. I haven't stayed to it before, but I was cheated on in all of my real relationships. So I feel like that is a hard no for me. Definitely don't do that. And any kind of abuse, I don't do that. I had to deal with it as a child, so I definitely will not deal with that in my adult life. I did deal with it at one point, and that was the ending of that.
Right, and you're like, okay, well, never again.
Yeah, never.
I learned my lesson with that one, and I don't want to dive back into that.
For sure, exactly. I feel like everyone has a hard no, but I feel like there's always that one or some people who turn that hard no into maybe I'll let it slide this time. But I feel like once you're out of that situation, it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, when you, like, kind of realize the situation,
yeah,
you're like, well, wait a minute. And I think it's always something I notice is it seems like, at least being a woman and women I know, we need breathers. We need, like, time alone.
Sure.
Like, I definitely need, like, a Sunday to myself with a couple of hours where I'm chilling. Maybe I paint my nails. Maybe I go get my nails done, depending on what the situation is. Like, where it's just me, and I don't hear kids, and I don't hear, like, my boyfriend or, you know, whatever the situation is. And I feel like a lot of people kind of forget to do that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think that's, like, a thing that you need to do no matter what situation you're in. Friends, boyfriends, family, anything like that. I feel like it's not selfishness. Like, everyone needs me time, you know? Everyone.
And when you realize, like, oh, damn, I haven't been getting the me time I need, it's, like, such an eye-opener. Because you're like, well, I've been sitting here going, are you happy? Are you having fun? But then going, well, wait a minute, am I happy?
Exactly.
Am I having fun?
Exactly.
You know,
yeah.
and I don't know. I think it's like, because I'm 31 now. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine that? How old are you?
I'll be 27 on Sunday.
Coming up.
Big
old 27.
I'm actually excited to be 30, so I'm okay with it. I'm trying to let it progress.
I was excited to be 32. I'm all 32 next year. I'm all this year when it happens. I'm excited to be 32. I meant to be 30 also.
Right.
And I was super excited because I was like, ooh, 30 is a milestone and shit. And it
Exactly.
definitely was because I realized a lot about myself. It was definitely a really hard year for me. Mm-hmm. One of the worst, I would say, probably. But, like, you have to go through that shit in order to learn things.
It's life.
And I figure I'll come out better smoking some good weed or
Right.
whatever. You know? What do you think? Have you ever been in a situation where dude was lying to you and so you had to catch him in a lie?
Oh, yeah. I think one of the two worst situations was probably my son's father, because I was in high school when we were dating off and on for like pretty much my whole high school year. And he was a habitual cheater and pathological liar, which, you know,
those guys.
Yeah, being in high school, you know, you're like, oh, love of my life, you think you're in love and all this, and you know, come to find out he was just a liar.
Your life is like, no, bitch.
Yeah, no,
don't got it yet.
It was bad, and I happened to not find out how big of a liar he was until I was already pregnant, and I found out he was also having 2 other babies the same year I was having my son. So that was fun.
That's a whole ordeal.
Yeah. So
You're all, wait a minute.
yeah, and
We're Eskimo sisters.
You know, and I found that out because she came to his house, and me and one of the other girls had a whole conversation about that. So that was fun. And then my most recent relationship, I found out that my ex was just lying about everything. From being deployed in the military to having cancer to people in his family dying who never died, and found out he was using text apps and stuff to text himself, thinking that he was texting like other people. So yeah, that was a very fun experience. Didn't think I would ever encounter that in my adult life, but
In your adult life is when it happens.
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, like,
just didn't
high school's
think
a
that.
bitch for sure, but I don't, and I hate when people are like, people say this isn't high school so much. Well, yeah, bitch, this isn't high school. I've never fought about somebody about a landline before. That's not fucking high school. This is adult shit.
True.
Don't tell me. You know what I mean? Oh, you act like you're in high school or some shit. I've heard people say that. The neighbor was mad at me about trash, of all things, some adult bullshit, right? Because you don't worry about that when you're in high school.
No.
But this motherfucker, your trash can is too close to my landline.
Oh my
And I'm
gosh.
like, I mean, okay. And, you know, he's like a little older than me, maybe. So we're in our 30s. I know he ain't much older. And I'm like, and he starts going, this isn't high school. And I was like, bro, I know that. I'm not in high school. I got 2 kids. Grow the fuck up.
Right.
Like, talk to me about it. So
About your landline. Okay.
I definitely had someone else, a friend of mine, tell me. And it's so funny because in this situation, I had the opportunity to kind of like ask the other side of the story. And the other side of the story is so different. But like, she thought her dude was cheating or lying. She thought he was lying. So she definitely got someone to go by the house a couple times and be like, you know, is the car there? Like, do you see what's going on? So there were like live action pictures of, oh yeah, you're at work, you're at home, you liar. You know. But I never
Wow.
really, the craziest thing I ever did, I don't think to catch anybody in the lie. The biggest thing I think that was like a problem, how I found out about cheating in my relationship was Facebook letting me know where people were.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you're in that neighborhood?
Social media is a
Are you kidding me?
bitch. Like, social media is a bitch.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, fuck you if you're doing that. But for real, Facebook was like, wait a minute, where is he supposed to be?
Exactly.
Why is he in this neighborhood?
Look, now we have Snapchat. Everybody better make themselves invisible on that map. So if you didn't know,
Ghost
you better
map.
ghost yourself on the map.
And if you
okay?
weren't ghost and you go ghost, your girl knows.
Yeah.
By the way.
For sure.
Just in case you thought maybe you were sneaky or not.
No, I'm just going to let you guys know. We know everything. So if we ask a question, answer it honestly, because 9 times out of 10, we already know the answer to your to the
If I'm
question we asked.
asking you, it's all, do you know why I'm asking you?
Right.
Are you sure you're understanding exactly why I'm asking you? And that kind of, I mean, I don't know. I know that's a bad thing. I know that it's bad to like trap people into, it's like, I already know this, but I'm going to ask you instead of being straightforward. That's something I'm personally working on
True.
in my 30s. I'm also, instead of beating around the bush, what's up with this bitch?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because before I would be like, well, I don't want you to know, like, I was sneaking through your shit to find out stuff. Like, because it kind of sucks to be like, well, your phone, you left it out.
Just
and
happened to slide
this
open.
message opened. So I was like, what is this? You know, it just
Yeah.
leaves, it's like, Well, I mean, I guess I did do that.
I am very guilty of that. But I hate the excuse when you do that is, well, you shouldn't have gone looking for something to find.
Nah, you can go through my phone whenever.
There shouldn't have been anything for me to find in the first place. Because you can go through my phone and guarantee you won't find shit that I'm doing wrong.
We've already talked about whatever is in my phone.
Do you know what I'm saying? like, but you're going to sit here, oh, well, if you didn't want to find nothing, you should have went looking. Like, I shouldn't have found anything when I went looking. Okay?
Right.
So.
Yeah, what do you have in there?
Exactly.
I don't know. And do you think, well, being older now, do you think that there's a big difference in maturity as far as yourself compared to the age that you date? Or like.
Yeah, it's weird though because I tend to date older for that simple fact. But it's like, I feel even with me dating or trying to date older, they're still in like such an adolescent mindset. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like guys are just not comfortable with women being comfortable with themselves and their sexuality. And so it kind of throws men off when women are like, I'm down to just, have fun, mess around, and have a cordial relationship without it being like a boyfriend and girlfriend situation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Where, yeah. Well, and a lot has changed too. And I think a lot of people, I've talked about it, I think with you before, people are stuck in the past, what they think should be a relationship. Because I do think that people can have different types of relationships. I think people can just hook up if they want to. I think people can be monogamous if they want to. I think, that's all relative to the person. It definitely depends on your feelings and what you want to do.
Correct.
But I also think that a lot of people still look down on a lot of that. I don't 100%. Think it really matters if you're a female or a man because, well, and I don't know if there's been a huge difference, but growing up, a lot of the girls I've talked to or will even talk to now, girls always wanted to impress boys. Even when you were little, before you knew you were gay, you were trying to impress little boys.
Heck yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm going to look best. And you're trying to impress little boys by being better than little girls.
Exactly.
And it's such a sucky thing because then you grow up and we're like, okay, let's empower each other. But all through fucking school, we were trying to be better than each
everybody
other.
else. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to just switch that over, which is why, like, I think it's very important for, like, women and parents who have little girls to show that they should empower one another before they try to impress.
Yeah. Or to love yourself. Like,
exactly.
I don't really feel like growing up, I was taught how to love myself. Like, to begin with, if you're from a family who was kind of from a dysfunctional family, let's say, your family is going to be a little dysfunctional no matter what, because even if you try not to be, you're going to be a little bit. And so
years of conditioning.
Exactly. And it's like, how do I ever learn that? Well, why don't we learn about, like, feelings and fucking how you feel different when you start your period and shit? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And I know it's different for guys, too. I don't even know because a lot of dudes won't open up, like, well, when I thought I had to impress girls.
I think that's an issue, too, is that even in our generation, because we were, brought up by the older generation, and a lot of men are taught to not show their feelings, to not express emotion. And I think that's so wrong to do. I teach my son, if he's sad, be sad, don't be a crybaby and cry for nothing, you know what I mean? But
feel it in the moment.
Yeah, feel it in the moment. Like, if you're hurt and you need to cry, let it out. I get that. I want him to be able to come to me and tell me everything. I want him to be able to express his emotions because I grew up with men who didn't express their emotions and then would come to a peak and blow up. Because they bottled everything in, because they were taught that having an emotion is weakness. And especially coming from, like, an African-American family, like, being raised by a black father, like, that's instilled in them, like, not to show weakness. Because in their eyes, like, you're black and you're a man. You already have 2 points against you in the eyes of everybody else. You know what I mean? That's, my father grew up with segregation and stuff, so that's in their mind what it is. So I feel like it's really important to kind of teach the younger boys that it's okay to have feelings and to express that, you know what I mean? And try and create a new generation.
I think that's, like, a big thing that I look for in a dude, too. Like, exactly. I want to know your real feelings. I don't want to get the same game that fucking 5 other girls are getting. Like,
Exactly.
let me know that you actually feel different about me, or, you know what I mean, that you're interested in a different way. And it sucks, though, to know that a lot of people do all the same stuff all the time. Like, I'm guilty of it, too. Like, I notice I don't even mean, and it's, like, the same pattern of, well, this is how I flirt, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't even know that was flirting, but wow, I see it now. Or, you know, different situations like that. That's something I want. I want someone who is emotional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, man, I don't care if you cry.
Exactly.
Feel it. Like, I want to see that too. What do you think is like the best thing a guy has done to catch your attention?
To be honest, that's a difficult question for me. I don't know.
Okay, well, while you think about it. So, this happened to me 31 years old. Okay, right? Cutest thing ever. I got asked to be somebody's Valentine.
Yeah. It was so
By my
adorable.
boyfriend. And it was adorable because
Yeah.
my whole room was decorated with all kinds of hearts and balloons and dolls and cute shit. You know what I mean? And like, and it's so funny because I was so mad when I got home. I like had a shit day at work and came home and didn't even expect to open the door. Saw it for a moment and was like, I closed the door and turned around and gave him a hug and was like, oh wow, this is seriously the coolest thing that's ever happened. And it's like, motherfucker, life is not a movie. Although they're like, will you go to prom? No, do you want to go to prom with me?
Right?
No, I can't because I'm going with my best friend. But thank you.
I didn't even get that. To be honest, I was pregnant on my prom, like 3 months pregnant. And my son's father at the time was supposed to come with me and stood me up. So I went with a bunch of friends. So
At least you still went. because
yeah,
that
no,
was,
I still went. We planned on it, you know. So I just went with a bunch of friends. And I don't know. I feel like that question's so hard to answer because I just have shit luck with dudes. Maybe I just don't know how to pick them. I don't know what it is.
Maybe it'll take you 31 years.
Maybe it'll take me 31 years. I'm hoping 31 is my golden year, so you know, let's go 31.
Hey, that's true.
Let's go 31.
We need to go to Vegas that
right?
year.
That's what I'm saying. So
That gives me
Good luck,
I
right?
should be able to save for what you said. You'll be 27.
yeah, that's like 4 years right there. We're good.
I can save. I can definitely get out
know
there.
what
We
I'm
can do
saying?
it. We can make that
That
happen.
would be awesome. But yeah,
So how about maybe like a cheesy pickup line or something? You know, kind of.
oh my god, I get those all the time. The thing is that like, I don't know, guys use the best pickup lines to get at you, and then I feel like once they reel you in, it's like, oh well, you know, that was a good chase, thanks for that, you know what I mean? But like, nah, you know what I mean? I don't know, I it's just difficult.
Is a dick pic a pickup line?
Oh, I guess nowadays it is. Do you know, like, constantly. And
Don't
I'm
get
just
me
like,
wrong, because I'm like, I
why?
like dick pics, but I don't want random ones. Like, and especially,
They're so
I don't want it to be the
random.
first message ever. Like, that's wild to me.
no, I wake up to like
And I'm like, I have a
Facebook
dude,
on
like-
Facebook messages like of dudes fucking dicks, and I'm just like, what the hell?
They're all
Instagram.
Guess what I was
Snapchat,
doing last
like-
night at the end of the night? I was having sex with myself. Look at this picture.
Exactly. I'm like, thanks for that.
Girl, I
it.
appreciate it. Were you looking at me though when you did the pictures I sent you before, Dom?
Oh my god, no, oh Lord. Let's not talk about people going through phones and stuff too. Ooh.
Yeah, that's why you put your nudes in like a private folder.
Look, I still don't do that. But
They probably
whatever.
didn't have that then. I guess it's been a long time. But if you don't know now, you can put your nudes in a private folder. You don't have the accident of like a friend opening your phone and seeing all your body.
Yeah.
In its glory. You're all, well.
Meant for that to happen. No, I'm just kidding.
What are things that you definitely look for? In like, either, I don't know. I guess in like, I want to know both. Like, what do you look for if you just want to hook up with somebody? And then is there qualities in those same people for long-term relationships, or are those different?
I mean, kind of the same, I would say. Like, if I just wanted to hook up with somebody, I mean, if I find them attractive, then that's fine, I guess. But it's still, like, some kind of standards.
What about an ugly
you know?
dude? If he talks a good game.
No, because I have to look at you. Well,
He's like, but I sent you my dick, and it's nice.
Yeah,
Just don't look at my face.
no, I still couldn't do it. I'm sorry. Like, that's where I find that there is some kind of a difference between men and women, because I'm not doing it. Like, I feel like men fuck ugly bitches all the time.
I agree.
And they're totally okay with that. I'm not fucking an ugly nigga. Like, I'm not doing it.
I agree. I'm like, I'm a
just
good-looking
not
girl.
doing it,
Enough
you know?
people have told me that. I don't,
Exactly.
You can tell me I'm ugly, and guess how many people have told me I'm good-looking. So
Exactly.
it don't matter.
That's how I
So,
feel.
like, I'm like, I look at some of the people either after me or before, and I'm like, what? And, like...
I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure a lot of the people that I've, dated or messed around with, people are like, that is way below your standard or whatever it is. But I'm just like, if I find you attractive, then it doesn't really matter what other people think, because I find you attractive.
I never really saw anybody that I considered ugly that you dated, so
that's
I think you did fine.
They were assholes, but
I don't know, maybe that one person. Like, but that's it. I'm all, no names. It doesn't matter. Just imagine some ugly dude.
right.
Because that's all that matters. But, like, what are some definite qualities then?
Honestly, I like honesty. I like for you to be honest with me, open, you know what I mean? Just tell me what you want. And I feel like with that comes so much more.
Even if it's bad shit?
Even if it's bad stuff, because I feel like if you don't tell me, then I'll never know. And I'm an overthinker, so I overthink everything. So I would rather you just be straightforward with me and tell me what's going on than me sit here and think about what's going on, because I guarantee you I will imagine something like 15 times worse than what's actually going on. So that's why I'm like, I would rather just hear the bad, because then I know. Then I can move on. You know what I mean? Like, if it's not something that I want to accept, then that's it. We can move on. And at least we're honest and open about it.
At least you don't have to be like, well, you're a liar and that,
Exactly. Or maybe not even lying, but just like, I'm a very open person when it comes to like dealing with any kind of relationship, friendships, everything like that, and families, everything. So I just feel that should be reciprocated. I feel like I just want to be able to get what I put out. You know what I mean? So just be open and honest. And I really don't feel that it's that hard, but apparently it is.
I've learned it's hard for me to keep my word when it comes to certain shit, because I'll say like, oh, I'll do this, and then like it'll come down to it and maybe I don't want to do it, or maybe a situation changed and I don't want to do it, but I had already said I was going to do it, but I don't really want to do it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, you lied. You said you were going to do this. And I'm like, no, I didn't lie. A lie. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, well, wait, maybe I can see how that's kind of a lie.
Try to justify it, but
yeah,
really.
Well, I play both sides, because I'm like, okay, well, wait.
But I feel like that's just kind of human nature, and it's learning and progressing as a person. You know what I mean?
Communication, as long as you're open to be like talking to me and shit, we're good. If we got to the point like where you're not talking to me, or we're not even getting through a situation at all, or common ground, how the hell are we ever going to get to the point where it's like, man, you know what I mean? I like this person.
Yeah.
Because the whole time you're sitting there going, I'm pretty angry at you right now. Like, you know? So I definitely also, obviously, because I have 2 kids, so somebody who is open to me having kids.
For sure.
And somebody who's open to, like, me having kids that have baby dads, like, or they don't have baby dads, I guess I do. But, you know what I mean? Having fathers that are...
I feel like I don't really have to worry about that, because mine is nowhere in the picture. So they just
Yeah,
really
so
need to
I'm
be
50-50.
open to just me having a child, which, I mean, is fine. I feel like when I say they need to be open to me having a kid, if I look for a long-term relationship, then obviously at some point, you're going to be introduced to my child, and you guys have to get along. If they don't get along, I will dead that situation immediately.
You're like, my kid doesn't like you, so...
I just can't do it, because, as a child, I was put in situations like that. So I feel like kids have a really good instinct about people, especially the younger they are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So...
They're like, But yeah, with me, it's like, well, I have one whose father isn't involved at all. Mm-hmm. But then I have another who came into both of my kids' life at a very young age. So he kind of fills in for both of them. So I'm kind of like both, where I'm like, well, her father's not involved, but her dad is involved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's who raised her up to this point. Or, in situations, I just want somebody to be comfortable and be like, okay, well, that, I get it.
Yeah.
And then I've learned, like, how important family is to me. Like, I don't really care
sure.
if you don't like my family, but you better like them while you're with me.
Exactly. At least get along and be cordial. You know what I mean? Like, we're all adults, and I feel like that's the biggest thing that even older adults don't understand is like, you may not like somebody, but if you have to be in a situation with that other person, then fucking act right and get along. Don't make a situation awkward, because if you're trying to be with me long term, you're going to make it awkward for us to ever have a relationship. And I have such a strong relationship with my family that there's no way I could be with somebody who disrespects them or acts wrong. I just couldn't do it.
And I see my family all the time. So
Exactly.
it's like, okay, well, I mean, are you ready? Because you're going to see them too. So
all the time.
How open are you about like your personal insecurities in a relationship?
I think I'm fairly open, you know, like I wouldn't say I'm crazy, but I do, you know, tell people that I do overthink. I will get wild on you. You know what I mean? So that's why I say like openness and honesty, because I'm a big overthinker, and I do have trust issues, and I know that about myself, and I try and work on them, and I spent a long time, you know, trying to love myself instead of someone else, you know? And so, I don't know. I'm open about it, and I do let them know, you know, just be honest, but it's hard because people are not honest and open, because
people are afraid to be honest.
It is. I agree.
It's like a really hard barrier to come to terms with, because when you learn like, well, damn, some of the stuff I'm afraid to tell you is some of the stuff you're afraid to tell me too. It's like, God, you know what I mean? And that's like, that was one of the things. That's why I'm like, I just really want to go over like shit that I feel like people go through all the time, because
it's hard though, because don't you feel that, especially like in a situation where you really like somebody and they say they like you, but it feels like you're the only person giving that effort out into everything, you know what I mean? And
people have different levels of what their effort is, though, because people love different ways.
I agree.
And that's what people don't. You just, in the moment, you're like, God damn, I'm fucking mad at you because I would have done this, this, and that. And, like, when you take a step back, you're like, well, you know what I mean? You did do this. And while that wasn't exactly what I caught on to, it was something that was important that you did. And you know what I mean? And and that's the thing, is because if I buy you stuff and I make you stuff and I want to give you things and that's how I show you I love you, but you're like, okay, well, I don't want all that shit, like come and cuddle with me and stuff, and I'm like, I'm just not in the mood right now. Like, we're gonna have problems and you're gonna think I'm mad or something, and really I'm just like, dude, I don't want to I'm hot, you know what I mean, or whatever it is. Like, so I think that's like what is the word, basically
like interpretation of the situation or something.
Yeah, and like just the kind of expectations you have for someone.
Yeah, true. I guess. Yeah,
it's totally expectations, and it's like,
and
well,
it
you
sucks
have to
when they
remember
don't live up to that.
That everybody's are different.
Exactly.
And then you have to. I mean, did I really tell you exactly what my expectations were? Was I fully honest about like how fucking I hate the cabinet doors to be left open, and like, you know what I mean? Like, have I let you know enough where it's like, every day I'm going to come and close them right behind you because it bothers me? Like, you know what I mean? So I think it's just like, what exactly that's what I'm saying. And I think I've really learned how everybody they talk about that honeymoon period or whatever, where everything is like super awesome and stuff. And well, that's because everybody's trying to impress each other. Yeah. So it's like, well, no wonder everything's really awesome. But it's like, do you have it in you to like keep trying to do that? Like a year later, are you fucking asking someone to be your Valentine with a bunch of shit all over the bed? Like, you know what I mean? Just different things like that. Yeah. And I think I'm really at the point in my life where I'm like, man, there's a few things. If I tell you not to call me something, don't call me it. Like, please don't do it. I don't want to go there. I'm not going to call you something. I'm not going to be mean to you or say something that I'm going to regret in any way, because once you say something, you can't take it back. And like, I am so hard on that because I've said shit that I've been like, didn't really mean that. I mean, I guess I didn't mean to say that. Yeah. You know what I mean? The word vomit. So I've really tried to not do that. And when it comes to people I love, like, I definitely am not trying to hurt feelings. Yeah. So I'm trying really hard to be like, okay, well, you know, what do you do for like your personal me time, what your self-care, your check-in to make sure that you are good aside from another dude or whatever?
Honestly, I love listening to music. Music is like my getaway from everything. I could sit in my room and just put my headphones on and listen to music the entire time and be okay. I get my nails done sometimes, but usually I have my son with me, so I mean, it's not really me time, but it is me
Yeah,
time.
you're good. Be quiet.
Yeah, you know, he's good, so he'll just sit there with me or whatever. But that and I don't know, probably when I'm taking a shower, because it's just like I take long showers, and it's just a nice time to reflect on things, and I listen to my music, and it's just a good time.
I like listening to music. I love hiking. Hiking is seriously, I can go out hiking, and it's so awesome because a couple different things. I've really gotten into listening to books. I love listening to books. And like, so I can either listen to music and be all chill, or I can pop on a book. And if I'm doing a 7-mile hike, I'm out there for hours. I can read a whole book, not having to read a book. And it's like the coolest feeling
That's
ever.
awesome.
And hiking has just always like really gotten me in touch with like, you know, myself, I guess. Because I'm like, okay, well, how am I breathing? And like, can I do this? Am I going to die? You know, all this shit. Are there going to be a lot of people so I can smoke a bowl at the end of this path? Like, you know what I mean? Every single thing that I really have to think about that I'm like, okay, this needs to happen.
Yeah, nature is a wonderful way to
And water.
relax.
And it's hard because here in Tucson, there's not any water. But.
And it's getting hot now, so definitely have to get out there before it gets...
Yeah, we got to go. Dude, we have to hit 7 Falls because right now the bottom has water. We don't even need to hike up to the
bottom
waterfall.
is okay.
We'll take the kids to the bottom. I don't know why. I'm sure you could make it to the top one too.
Like, maybe.
We made it to the Douglas Spring Trail. If you're listening in Arizona, go to it and go to the waterfall because it's totally worth it. And I don't know. It felt like it was easier to me than 7 Falls, even though like, you know, at the end of it, you're still on top of the mountain. So it's like, dang, I started at the bottom. It's pretty cool. Okay. But I've taken the kids and they love it, dude. Yeah, so a very cool thing to do. How about going to bed angry? We were talking about that earlier. Do you have like a we don't go to bed angry rule or?
I would say it would be nice to not go to bed angry, but I don't really have a rule about that because I don't really have somebody to be mad at, I guess. I don't know. And like try and work out the anger before I go to bed. You know what I mean? So.
Well, like just in general, I guess. Because you're single now. Dom is single, by the way.
Hey.
So, but like aside from, you know, being single right now where you don't have that constant, is that something that you would be like, I don't want to go to bed angry?
Yeah, it would be nice. I do try not to go to bed angry, you know, like, and a lot of the times it's, you know, me making myself angry about things that I probably shouldn't be angry about, and then I have to just sit there and be like, it's not even worth it.
Right? I do that too.
It's like not even worth it.
The whole
and I'm
overthinking thing is a real problem.
It is. So I'm just like, can't do it, you know, I'm over it, and I feel like I go to bed angry, but in the meantime, like, I don't really wake up angry. You know what I mean?
I always wake up brand new.
Yeah,
and people
that's how
get
I feel
so mad
too.
about that, but I'm sorry, it's a brand new day.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. I don't wake up angry.
I will try to put everything that happened behind me.
I will say the whole time I was with my ex, I probably woke up angry every day, but he was sleeping right next to me, so it was kind of hard not to wake up angry.
It got that way towards the end of my last relationship too, where I was just like, I mean, do I have to go home? I don't know. Like,
yeah, basically.
I mean, I do, but yeah, it depends on the person. Like, but I don't want to go to sleep angry. I would rather get through our shit, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I hate people that don't want to talk about things, and I'm trying so hard to be one of those people that's like, okay, we can talk about this later, as long as we talk about it later. I don't want to, like, not talk about it.
See, the thing with that is if I go to bed and not talk about it before I go to bed, then I'm hitting you at first thing when you wake up. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. So remember what we were talking about last night? Let's finish that conversation because I'm not trying to go to work.
Here, by the way.
And have that on my mind all day while I'm at work. And that's what I'll do. So that's why I'm like, I just need to get it out and let's talk about it and go from there. And then once we talk about it, we'll figure out what to do. And then I can know what to do. I don't like not knowing what to do. I don't like not being in control. That's probably one of my biggest issues. And
the biggest problem
that
about
having
an issue with not being in control is going with the flow. Because you can control going with the flow. And that's something I've recently watched videos about. and like because I have an issue with it too. So I'm all about self-improvement, right? So let me be the best I can. But yeah, you can control going with the flow. If you put that in your mind and you're like, I'm just going to go with the flow, you're controlling that. And you would totally get out of the mindset of like, I'm not controlling the situation, because you're like, yeah, I'm going with the flow, which is what I said I was going to do. So, you know what I mean? You trick yourself.
I'm just trying not to go with the flow and then get in a bad situation, okay?
I mean, I hear you.
Going with the flow is
You're
too
like,
willy-nilly for me.
I don't know. You're all, fuck that. Whoever said that.
I'm
no.
like, eventually we're going to talk about this, and that's just how it's going to be, okay? Because eventually we have to have this conversation.
I agree. What did you think of the Optimal Prime?
Oh, that was very nice.
It's
very
good, huh?
relaxing.
It's a very,
Yeah, but like not like I'm going to be out as soon as I'm done smoking it.
Yeah,
relaxing.
not like I'm going to fall asleep, but I definitely feel like a whole body high, and my eyes are pretty.
Yeah, it
like,
is a
if
full
we
body
take pictures,
high.
my eyes will definitely probably be a little high. But the thing is that when we started this, my head was kind of hurting. And it was funny because I was like, okay, this is going to be a good time to try it. Because when I looked up the stuff about Optimal Prime, it's patients who suffer from migraines or headaches find relief with the excellent pain relieving strain. And then my issue is chronic back pain, right? So
Yeah, I was
I
just about to say that
definitely feel really
my back
good.
feels nice, yeah.
It's like a nice, like, kind of tingly sensation
Yeah.
I feel there, which is cool because usually I would have, like, nerve pain.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely feel that, and I don't really have a headache anymore.
Yeah.
And that
it's
could
nice.
just because, you know, we've been chilling for a while. But that's cool. And, like, the pain relieving flower is awesome because a lot of times you find edibles, and like for me personally, edibles is where I find like the best pain relief for my back. This is probably the first time I've ever like totally noticed where like, my whole body is kind of like tingly.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel it. So I think that is I would get it again.
Oh yeah,
I
for
like
sure.
it. It smelled really good. And
Yeah.
it's very crystally.
And it broke down really nicely too. And it's like,
and it rolled up good, and we have more left.
yeah,
And
and
also, we can
it's
smoke
dense too. The buds are like super dense, so like broke out to way more than
you
what
expected, right?
Yeah, than what I thought it was going to. So
It's definitely
nice.
a good little indica. So I agree that I would go back to Saints and I would get this, and I think it is something that they do personally. I haven't seen it anywhere else, but hit them up if you want to see that. What about you? How can people, because I said you're single, so people are going to want to find you. So what's your social media?
Oh Lord! So my Instagram is wicked_mama082010.
It's really long. Remember it. I said it really quick.
You know, I'll do it one more time. wicked_mama082010. And
That's the best one.
you know, yeah.
You're
it's
like,
pretty good.
because if I like you, shoot me a DM, and then maybe we can become friends on different social media.
Exactly.
I'm like, everybody follow Kendra After Dark. I've been like, hey, I don't know if you're on my page.
And
I
I'll
don't
be
know if you're,
tagging it, so
you know,
if you didn't get the name, it'll be tagged.
and I'll post pictures so you'll be able to see her fine ass. She'll be like,
Gosh.
this is Dominique. You know that one episode? She's in that one. But I really appreciate you coming on because I was super
thank
excited
you.
about talking to you. And every time we talk, we always get into like a nice little veer off of how you better be teaching those boys emotions because I want to see emotions.
Definitely.
I think it's a good thing overall. But don't forget to check me out at kendraafterdark.com, and of course social media and a bunch of different platforms wherever you want to watch your listen to your podcast. And then the YouTube channel, of course, and I'm going to be having a show every Saturday will be uploaded like 10 o'clock in the morning, so you can get yourself ready on the weekend cleaning or whatever and listen to us just ramble and try some more good dispensary stuff.
Yummy.